Hi, my name is Mikhail. I work at Albacross, and this is our short demo of our account-based marketing or ABM tool. Our ABM tool is built into our platform of lead generation. So you might say that we, in this case, have two different products working side by side beautifully. One does not entail that you need to use the other, and vice versa. Now, the way Albacross built account-based marketing is based on an IP level, meaning that since we are able to track these companies when they visit your site, we can further track them when they visit certain publisher sites online, specifically those that sell their ad space via real-time bidding. Now, we have built our platform as a self-service tool. We did this because we saw that account-based marketing was constantly being hidden behind consultants and hard, very high barriers. So we wanted to bring account-based marketing to the people, so to speak, and make it available for small and medium-sized businesses as well. In our self-service tool, you build your campaign in three very simple steps. Once you have your campaign launched, you of course have full trackability from within the platform. Now, in order to get started, I first need to identify the companies that I want to target. Second, I set a budget and a time period that I want my campaign to run. And number three, I provide the banner material to use for the advertisement as well as a landing page. Of course, we will give you our recommended banner formats to use, and it's up to you to design them and very simply upload them into the tool once you're ready. Now, step one, pick the companies. It's always the step that takes the most time, and you can do this in three different ways, one by one or all together. My first option is to look at the companies that have been on my website. Do I have any companies that I want to advertise to from here? If I do, I simply click this add button and those get put in my target list for further usage once I begin working on my campaign. I could also pick and choose companies from a saved filter where I have possibly even identified my ideal customer profile already. If I want to take a full advantage of the Albacross database, I can do so by clicking New Campaign. This is where I can pick and choose out of the companies that we have access to advertise to. In order to do this, what I do is I select the location. Say if I want to run a campaign in Sweden, I simply filter for it. I can add an industry code if I want to, say computer consultant. Boom. And I'm presented with a list of the computer consultancy firms in Sweden that we currently have in our database. Our database is dynamic, it changes. Companies get added every single day, so if it's not available today, it might be next week. I could, if I wanted to, also apply a revenue filter to say that these companies need to be big enough to actually afford my services. From this view, I can either go through my results and pick and choose the companies that I actually find interesting, or I can apply a free text filter in case I'm looking for someone specific. My second option here is to say, hey, you know what? All of these look good. I'm going to select all. I move to the next page and I do the same thing on that page. Now, the third option to adding companies to a campaign is to simply upload a list. Many of you probably already have a list of the companies that you want to reach in a perfect world. And if you do so, you upload them in a very simple CSV format like this, where we have a country code, a company name, or a company number, or a domain. We upload that into the tool, and the tool will then tell us that out of the 65 companies on your list, we will be able to reach 49, for instance. Now, once we're back in the app, my next step would be to keep moving in this process. But at this point, I really want to show you this link right here, publishers and specifications. This site will help me determine which formats I am going to need for my campaign, as well as an idea of the publishers that we use per region. Now, if I am running a campaign in Sweden, since I'm Swedish, this is a list of the most well-known local publishers that we work with. Of course, since we have the ability to publish really across almost all international, national, and local media, industry sites, as well as everyday sites where employees of these companies might be found. That being said, the audience sort of determines the publisher list. Now, in order to get a successful campaign, we need to make sure that we have banner formats to publish on these publisher sites. Each site has a different format that they're currently selling, and we want to be able to purchase that spot for you in front of this IP address. So I always recommend using all six that are recommended. If you want to stay away from mobile, you skip the signing and uploading the mobile ones, of course. Each country in our list has different formats. If I go for the UK here, we're going to see a different list of the local publishers and a different list of the banner formats that we recommend using. For further information and more technical details about banners, we have a little simple guide down on the bottom. Now, when I'm back in the tool, what I do in order to move forward, and important to mention before I move forward, the US is not quite available just yet for these campaigns, but if you are US based and you would like to get notified, simply click this little hyperlink and sign up, leave your email address, and we'll let you know once it is. If I'm ready to move forward, I click this pink button and I start creating my campaign. I check through my list and make sure that everything is still good in there. And then the next step is where I start building the campaign. My purpose for this is brand awareness. I am okay with my company name and date as the name of my campaign in this case. And I decide the landing page. Of course, if I have a UTM tag, this is where I provide that. In the next step is our budgeting and scheduling tool. This is based off of a pricing of 30 euros CPM, so 30 euros, 1,000 impressions delivered. We don't charge by the click, we don't charge by the publisher, so the only cost you're going to see is the delivered amount of impressions towards these companies. I determine here how long I want this campaign to run, and I set a total budget if I want to, which would in this case be, say, 750 euros. For 750 euros, I am running a 2-month campaign. I'm buying 25,000 impressions for a total max budget of 750. The campaign in this case is well optimized. If I go too low, it will be a low optimized campaign. My other option is to determine a daily budget, and in this case, the recommendation differs. So for 15 companies, what would you like to spend per day? Do I want to spend up to 30 euros per day, meaning 2 euros per company per day, or something lower? My typical recommendation for optimal delivery is to put your limit at somewhere around 1 to 1.5 euros per day, because let's face it, you don't want to be that annoying brand that they keep seeing everywhere, every single time they go online. I pick my start date, could be as early as tomorrow, or I plan it out in the calendar, and once I'm ready, I click next. Now, in this part of the tool, I create my new ads. I upload them either in a picture format, we support PNG, JPEG, GIFs, or I upload them in an HTML, depending on what I use to design them. Once I am ready, I will simply name my banner sets. I click Save, and on the next screen there's a little button called Book. Once the campaign is booked, it is ready to go on your launch date. Of course, if our team notices that there's anything wrong with your banners or whatever it might be, we will reach out before that date. Once the campaign is running, of course, you have your campaign dashboard where you're able to see all the campaigns that you have run, that you're currently running, and the ones that you have planned to run in the future. I see here, for instance, the number of clicks a campaign got me, the number of views it delivered, the CTR for a campaign, all the parameters that I set in the budgeting tool. I can see the top 30 publisher where the ad has actually been seen. I can see how each of my banners did when it comes to clicks, views, and of course CTR. And of course, the most interesting information is which company saw it, how many times, and how did they interact with it. This list, I would say, is gold to any salespeople, business to business, because it really gives me an idea of where these companies are. If I keep calling this first company right here, I can assume that they have a huge brand awareness, they paid a lot of interest, and they have a really nice CTR. Compare that to something down the line here where you have minimal brand awareness, not too much interest, and the CTR might be a little bit dull. Of course, all of these campaigns I can export into either a PDF or an Excel report, depending on which campaign I want and which format. The PDF and the Excel contains all the information that we just looked at. So go ahead and export and share it with your stakeholders, decision makers, or possibly even your clients. That's our ABM tool. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and please let us know in support down here if you have any questions regarding it, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much. Bye now.